Wow, okay, what is up, guys? Ruda versus here. We are back. Man, I was supposed to make this video earlier today. I watched the episode. Now it's 12 o'clock at night. And I watched the episode way early. Like, that was the first thing I did when I woke up was watch the episode so I can go ahead and get this video out today for you guys. But, yeah, that failed miserably. But anyways, I'm just now making it. It's still fresh in my mind, though, so we're gonna get right into it. But welcome to the channel if you're back, and what is up if you are new. We're gonna do some review, and I might do a little bit of prediction here. I don't keep up with the manga, so I don't know like spoiler predictions, but my predictions will be based off what I've seen so far in the anime. So it wouldn't be no spoiler, none. It's just most likely, you know, it's just a guess, like anybody else's random guess. But anyways, so far, uh, now I was just straight up. This is the first this episode since the burning of the locker room. This is the first time I think we've gotten a word from everybody so far now. Like the whole team, the advisor. We've heard everyone's side, heard everyone speak. We know everyone's feelings, everyone's opinions. We've seen it all. We've seen everybody basically now. So we finally get a bigger, clearer picture now. You can say, in terms of what's going to happen next, or just how everyone feels, right? So basically, um, um, we saw a little bit of Momo Haru. Momo's kind of really grown into a complicated character. We really don't know what to expect much out of him anymore. But let's talk about. Well, I really want to jump to what happened at the end. Um, okay, we'll just talk about Momo as a. Okay, so we won't. Okay, normally I try to break the video down into like what how the episode went. So this happened first in the episode, then this happened in the episode, then this happened in the episode. But I'm gonna break the episode down based on each character, right? So I'm gonna start off first with Momo, right? So everything Momo did in this episode, we're gonna talk about right now. So no matter the order or whatever, we're gonna talk about. So first and foremost, Momo, he went to basically apologize to the advisor of the team, and he wanted them to pretty much basically, he wanted him to help them get the team back. Well, Momo, I think, does not at this point know that they're getting the team back together. But or did he learn? I think he did learn in this episode. But anyways, he went to talk to advisor. Advisor pretty much feeling for him, but his wife, he's left from work because his wife is pregnant currently right now. Um, and she was like, "Do basically everything he's gone through, for you guys and whatever." And basically, Momo was like, "Yeah, I kind of don't really have a right to ask you for your help, And basically, after that, he left, and he basically the advisor told his wife actually and I'm sorry I don't know his name. I never really caught his name or paid too much attention to it. I just call him advisor because that's what they always say. But they were like, his wife was like, "Would you have helped him?" And he was like, "No." And I don't know if he was just saying that to please her or if he really meant that he wasn't like potentially gonna stick his neck out anymore. But it makes sense, obviously, if he has a baby on the way and all of this. It's not really smart for him to be trying to risk maybe his job and things like that for a bunch of quote unquote thugs, in a sense. So that makes a little bit of sense, but also a little shocking there, depending especially how he felt about the team later on. But we also got a little bit. Well, we'll stick to Momo. But yeah, I guess I go and mention it. We saw a little bit of a foreshadowing when Neo was going around asking advisors for to basically be the advisor of the club, and it was one of the I think the head teacher or whatever. I think noticed, and he was just kind of noticed it, and I think he may potentially jump in. Either he's gonna either get the old advisor back on it, or he's gonna do it himself. Right, one of the two. I'm not sure which one yet, but you can tell just basically by that little cutscene of him that he is most likely gonna step in and help out some way, or form, or fashion. We don't know which way yet, but that was kind of a bit of a foreshadow right there. So back to Momo though, and we finally got to the haircut, right? So did anything else happen with Momo? He helped Mokichi, And no, yeah, that's when Mokichi told him about the team. Yep, I remember now. Mokichi was like, "Yeah, we're gonna team back together. I don't really care if you join or not, but I would really, it would really help the team if I had, he basically said he wants him back without really saying it. But yeah, um, so that's when he learned that they were gonna team back together, and yeah, so I think now Momo was more. Now he knows he doesn't have much to do. Now he can just kind of, he went. That's what the whole reason him going to the visor was to kind of make up for what he did. Because basically his brother, Chiaki was like, are you gonna just wait for everyone to forgive you, or are you gonna actually go out there and earn it, or basically beg for it in a sense. So that was the whole reason him going to the advisor was basically to do something about his actions and take responsibility. And later on, he basically, after hearing that from Mokichi, I think his job is done, and now he just has to return back to school and join the team at this point. So that's why I think we got this new Momo, right? So I think we're basically gonna see a different person. He got his haircut, which we knew for the longest. If you ever watched the intro of the show, you knew from the intro that he was gonna cut his hair. But I should have known then and there that when he didn't cut his hair in that first game, that they weren't gonna win that first game, right? Because this is the sign of a whole new person, right? So we're in a whole new Momo at this point. So that right there, I should have known since he didn't cut his hair before the game that it wasn't the full team wasn't ready yet, right? The full team and into Momo cut his hair. Now I'm just playing, but yeah, we knew from the intros and things like that that he was gonna cut his hair. So I was wondering what the holdup was and when that was gonna happen. But yeah, that finally happened, and I was wondering why Sora's hair got cut, but I like it. I just didn't really see the reason of it, but yeah, I like it. But yeah, just since we're on the topic of haircuts, but yeah, so Momo really interesting, really one of the staple characters. Obviously, if you're in the starting five, you're pretty much a staple character. The other two, three, I mean, are two as well, but yeah, those five mainly are the whole story. And Nao and what is the whole story is everyone, but it focuses mainly on around those five. But so Momo, it's exciting. We're excited. I'm excited if I can get my words out to see what he's gonna do next. Pretty interested to see how he's gonna come back, what changes he's gonna make in terms of his basketball skills and in terms of his character development and in terms of the way he just interacts with the rest of the team. So really interested to see moving forward what he's up to so far. Really liking his character development, his progress. He's always been kind of one of the more interesting characters compared to the others. So definitely nice to see. He was the first one Sora convinced, I think, to get back into basketball, and then Sora kind of got convinced everyone. Mo was the first one basically, and then obviously the captain of the team. So yeah, it's a lot going on there, and it's just great to see how it's all playing out with him. Um, just great story writing right there. But yeah, so moving on, what else happened here? So Nail gave everyone regimens, workout regimens. So everyone's kind of been following those. That's on the team like Kite, Sora, Shiaki, Mokichi. Those four have been following this regimen. And oh, okay. So since we're talking about that, speaking of that, we go with Kite. So Kite is also kind of going through this trying to get better phase in terms of basketball wise. Um, so he actually went and challenged, and if I'm sure I caught this right, he went to challenge college players. He and they were like, "Are you sure about this?" And then the ace of their team or captain also, I think ace and captain or team, he said, "I'll challenge you," and then he was like, "Well, it's not really fair since I just did a workout and you're like fresh," and he was like, "No, I just did this regimen," and so he was like, "Oh, okay, well, let's do it." So we didn't really see what happened there, but yeah, it's interesting to see that Kite is doing that. So he really feels the need to basically come out and really improve his skills because I think he really wants to elevate the team, even if he has to do it himself. So I think that's really what he's going for there, really trying to push himself to be a better player. In terms of that, I don't really think it really he doesn't really need much more character development. He's already fine. Maybe I was gonna say maybe a little easier on the team, but obviously the team doesn't need to be. They need to probably more kite discipline on him. But other than that, I don't really see him need a change. But yeah, if he's gonna go to improve. So it's gonna be nice to see what exactly he does improve upon. So moving to Sora, Chiaki and Mokichi. Um, so they were all so Sora and Chiaki were practicing at Mokichi's house, and basically, they were, really, like I said, they just got finished their regimen, and they were practicing, and basically, we see now that Sora is still, just as deadly, and Chiaki's the same, but what really showed me there was that for Sora to be really able to stand on the field and not, be a deficit, he pretty much can't miss. He has to pretty much become automatic and cannot miss any shot if he's going to be on the field to not be a liability. That's what I mean by cannot miss. But yeah, other than that, we have another year. So another year from the interim high. So he could potentially grow in this short period of time. And I do not truly believe Sora will stay short. I don't think he would stay the height he is. I think he would definitely grow a little bit more before the next high. But that's a prediction, and I'm not 100% sure on that. It would make sense if he didn't grow, because I think it was one guy the kites, the guy that what was his name? The orange hair guy that challenged Kite, he had a friend that was short, and he took pride in his height, and he said, "I hope no one shorter than me steps on the scene." And I'm taking that as Sora may not grow just so this, just so he's proves a point in a sense. But I also can see him maybe growing a little bit. So like I said, since he does still have some time. But anyways, yeah. So and Chiaki, don't think it was much there from him. I think he pretty much was just there. Oh, he felt okay. He said this one thing at the table where he was like, I we can't just hope to be good enough. We gotta be the best players in Japan, basically. So he really wants. He has high expectations for the team, and pretty much Mokichi didn't nothing really much happened with him, but he did make this statement that Chiaki's optimal position wasn't point guard, right? And you saw this by he said this after Chiaki had dunked, right? Chiaki had dunked, and then he was like, his optimal percentage of point guard, which makes sense of his size. He needs to be more so inside. If he could catch some, he's that like guy you throw the ball to, and he can make plays happen in the post, right? He's like a in real life, if you know anything about basketball, a Jokic type player, right? You give him the ball, he's gonna find some backdoor cuts behind the back type stuff, do some crazy stuff, and he definitely is can be more efficient and he doesn't need to be the ball handler all the time. He can be more efficient if he was more so like catching like Kuriko on basket, how Kuriko was, right? He would you throw him the ball, he would throw the pass to someone else. See, that's really what Chiaki can become if he didn't play point guard. So that's where I think Mokichi was kind of leaning there when he said that. But in terms of sorry. Yeah, so in terms of development, they've basically been kind of really talking about it a lot, and really just everyone's right now really trying to improve on something, and whether it be their basketball skills, their character, a lot of just things going on with the team right now. And was there anything I missed? Mocha's here, Jackie, versus, um, yeah, so I think we pretty much, like I said, we got word from everybody, right? So even going to like Nabi and them, right? I think I said that right. The three bench guys, um, they also are they even all they don't want to be useless, seen as useless, and they even said this. I what did he say? He said, "I'm kind of glad we lost the first game because they would have felt even more useless against stronger teams, right? The more stronger teams they went against, the more useless they would have felt." Now, seeing their team, those guys, if they could improve on defense, then that's all I really we need from them. Other than that, like obviously to make obviously simple things like layups and stuff like that. Other than that, those guys should be straight, just improving on defense and coming in just being like lockdown defenders. But they may also maybe develop like a steady shotter. I don't know. You don't know yet. But those three, we gotta see more. They they could potentially be some great under role players, but we don't know yet. As far as how much they will improve within a year, so obviously it won't be much within a year's time, but it could be enough to pick them up and contending for the interim high level, right? So moving past that though, I think we like I said, Kai Mokichi. We talked about everyone so far. So Sora, oh, and Monica, right? So I think I'm saying it right. I didn't. I usually sometimes look at the names before I start these videos just to make sure I'm saying it right. But I'm just going off memory here. So Monica, I think that's how you say it right. They had her and Sora had a little moment, and Sora felt like Momo was the one hurting most right now, and she felt like Sora was the one hurting most, or should be the one that's hurting most right now. So that was an interesting point. How Sora's kind of put everything else, like his mom's death aside, and kind of really focusing on the future. So maybe she still feels something there about that situation. But either way, um, yeah, they're starting to get a relationship development going there. I don't think Sora. I you know had always did kind of had a slight feelings for her, but I don't really know if Sora really has like those type of feelings for her. But I think from the moment he saw her or whatever, he always thought she looked like pretty or whatever, and we starting to see a little bit more of that develop here with his feelings towards her, but I'm still not sure about her feelings towards him. Because she actually did apparently have a crush on Momo, which wasn't surprising. I think I talked about it a little bit last episode. Wasn't surprising because if there's anybody she ever talked to besides Sora, it was Momo. So it did make a little sense there. But yeah. Other than that, really really so far just a great episode. I think it really kind of summed up where we are right now with the team, with the situation, what's going on. So we know pretty much the team coming back is gonna happen, right? We just know it's gonna happen. It's just more so about the only thing we're still uncertain about at this point is Momo and the other three guys that are suspended. And when they come back, will they be able to get on the team? And that's the biggest, I think, what if right now. But other than that, obviously we know that everyone's gonna get back on the team. The team's gonna get back together, not to just be like a bummer when I say it like that, but that we just know it's gonna happen. And it's just more so about how it's gonna happen, right? That's really the how and not the when. Is more so best the how. So that's really what we're waiting on here. And then a year, like I said, okay. So we gotta get into the predictions now, right? So okay, my one of my predictions so far is that there will be a time skip, right? Because right now, everything everyone's talking about is the interim high next year. That's a whole year from now. So I really see in the near future there has to be a time skip somewhere, right? Because or we would have like at least a dozen more episodes of just like nothingness, right? We wouldn't have no basketball, just straight storytelling for like the next like 12 to 20 episodes. It would just be a lot of stuff they would just have to like randomly cover, right? So it's gonna be a time skip somewhere, but it just depends on when, right? So we know they're gonna grind, right? So right now they're stuck. with getting a team back together, right? That's the obstacle right now. We know that that's gonna get solved soon. Everyone's getting back on the team, and then we know that the training is gonna happen, right? Everyone's gonna grind their butt off for a year, and then the next year's tournament is gonna start, right? So that's pretty much what they've kind of laid out in terms of in plot that we know is gonna happen. Um, that they're gonna grind for a year and be ready next year, and the team's gonna get back together. So for a year, okay, I can see maybe they make an episode or two about them training. Maybe they see obviously we still got to cover the team getting back together, so they might take another episode or two for that to happen. But once that happens, then they're gonna get to the training. Like I said, that's gonna be episode or two. After that, maybe just maybe some practice games. I can see maybe a practice game. I would rather not see a practice game right now. Maybe a practice game like early, like as soon as they get the team back together. Maybe then they get a practice game against another team. But I'd rather not see it like before right. I'd rather not see them do a practice game before the next intern high starts. I want the progress they make to be completely a shock to me. I want it to be like this is what these guys have been doing the whole year, right? So I don't want it to be happening like the practice. I know because I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen before the next intern high. They're gonna have a practice game with another team. It's just gonna happen, right? So just hopefully it doesn't happen, and it doesn't. Hopefully the practice game isn't how they reveal everyone's like whatever they improved on. Hopefully that's not the case. But anyways, regardless. All right, so that's one of my predictions. The next one is, I think within well, maybe next year, maybe not right now, but I think, and maybe not, because these characters have built the bond with each other. They have, they're supposed to, basically experience things together. But I feel like we may get a new character before the next intern high, a new player on the team, right? Because I think how many they got? They got 5 starters, 3 subs, so just 8. So they at least need 2 more. I think we may get, and they may just be like some guys that just talk on the bench. You always get those bench players that just like kind of they're there just to kind of commentate on what's going on. I think we may even get something like that, but I think we're gonna get another player before the next tournament. Obviously, it'll be another year, right? So there's gonna be, I think, right. The team has basically gotten a lot of attention. They've gotten a lot of attention from their last game or their first game against Sinjo. So a lot of teams. That's why they had got 4 teams that called them for practice, and obviously they got challenged. The Kai got challenged by the guy, and there's just a lot of people know about Kuzu now, right? So I think it will draw potentially some new freshmen in, or maybe even just someone might transfer next year. So I think we potentially will get a new or new person or whatever. They may not be on the skill level of like Kite, or they may not be able to be in the starting 5. But I think because I think the starting 5 won't change from what it is now. But I think if we got a new character, it would be just a really good support role player, something like that, right? So I think it potentially could happen. But I can see it not happening too. But I just feel like the team maybe needing another body, but you never know. Like I said, because that's what this whole training is about, so that the whole starting 5 can play the whole game if they have to. Right? They should better play the whole game without getting tired. And I think that was one of their problems. And I think that's something they're gonna work on. So it makes sense if they do get a new addition or anything like this team, but I really feel like they will. And anyways, though, regardless, I think we've covered everything, and I don't want to make this video any longer than it has to be. So yeah, if you enjoyed it, please drop a comment. Let me know what you think about the video. Let me know what you think about the episode. What do you feel like is gonna happen? And like I said, just let me know what you thought. Secondly, drop a like if you did enjoy it. And third, if you really enjoyed it and you want to see more, I already made other videos, so go check those out. But also go ahead and subscribe so that you can keep up to date with my videos. Anyways, I'm out.